you can embody the best of both worlds.
Clark was raised by Jonathan to be a decent person, but you have to choose if you're going to reveal who you are or not. You have to choose if you're going to be a hero or not. Yep. But he's also not sure what's the right thing to do. Because my dad has taught me to be afraid. Jor-El's telling me I can be a hero, I can be a force for good. And so he's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to commit to it, right? And what do I get in return? I get
a bunch of mixed messages.
We try and make things good and we can't control all the consequences. You try and fight a good fight, and what ends up happening is you piss off the wrong people and then they hurt people, right? This is a choice that he has made to become the Superman we know and love.
Yeah.
For about 30 glorious minutes. Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies, and with me today,
Alan Seawright, professional filmmaker who needs therapy largely because of the movies we're about to talk about.
We're going to be going Alan versus Jono on the Snyder trilogy because I enjoyed Man of Steel in theaters. I thought I had some problems with it, but overall really liked it. Hated Batman v Superman and
Correct. Justice
League.
Accurate.
Well, but then I saw the director's cuts and really came around on them, and you just didn't.
They're longer.
So we're going to be talking about Superman, who is my favorite pop culture character.
Yes.
My favorite versions, though, honestly, are Christopher Reeve's in the first two. And the new Superman and Lois is excellent. Have you been watching that?
I've heard really good things.
We, with our Psychology of a Hero episodes, we tend to wait until the arc is finished of the character. So we were holding off on Henry Cavill because we're like, is he coming back?
Is he coming? No.
Well, and then yes. And then no. And then
Henry Cavill has had the worst career for someone who's had a pretty good career.
Even like disagreeing on the films themselves.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Perfectly cast.
Absolutely perfectly cast. And you've seen Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yeah, so good.
I want 9 more of those movies.
Yes.
And no one saw it.
Yeah.
Go watch Man from U.N.C.L.E.
So we're going to be talking about Dr. James Marsh's identity status theory.
Yeah, I know all about it.
That is a lie.
Total huge lie.
You've turned this studio into a house of lies.
I don't care. Right.
But it's basically the process of deciding who you are going to be, which, like it or hate it, is the arc of Henry Cavill Superman. So we're going to start with identity diffusion, in which a youth is confused about roles, values, goals, and life purpose. It's just all confusing.
So a youth is a youth.
So a youth is a youth, and this is categorized by fear of the outside world.
Clark!
I thought, yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff particularly in Man of Steel, that I actually really loved. And I loved this, like, young Clark figuring out how to deal with all of his powers is great.
And all of them coming at once.
I'm here. Clark, honey, it's Mom. Will you open the door?
What's wrong with him anyway? He's such a freak crybaby. His parents won't even let him play with other kids.
Well, and just the design of that, making it look and feel and sound painful. Really good.
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small.
This is a beautiful little scene.
It is lovely. And this kid's really good.
What's wrong with me, Mom?
He's afraid to face the world because he feels, what's wrong with me? Like, he doesn't feel up to the task of facing it, and that's childhood.
Yeah. Huh?
That is 100% childhood.
So adulthood sometimes.
Oh, you smell good.
Did I not before?
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane!
No, it's a bird. It's a Scentbird. Scentbird is a subscription fragrance service that can help you express yourself through scent.
Scentbird lets you choose a new designer fragrance every month for just $17.
Just $17?
Every month, you get to pick what you want to receive, so there are no surprises.
This month, I got Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. There's hints of sandalwood, a little peppery, and it smells like hope.
What does hope smell like? It smells like Fierce.
It smells like Superman.
And I got Gucci Guilty Borom. Honestly, what it smells like is my dad coming home from work when I was a kid.
You know, I only met your dad twice, and he smelled good both times.
Yeah, he really
Like,
did.
noticeably good.
Like the ultimate male.
Yeah.
Like Superman.
They have perfumes and colognes and a bunch of unisex options as well.
With each fragrance, you'll get a 30-day supply so you can try out scents before committing to a full-size bottle.
That would normally cost $150 up to the $300 to $500 range.
Scentbird carries designer brands like Prada, Gucci, and Versace.
And indie labels like Skylar, Heretic, and Confessions of a Rebel.
Use our coupon code CINEMATHERAPY for 55% off at Scentbird. It's just a little over $7 for the first month.
Available in the USA and Canada. If you live in Europe, we don't care how you smell.
Thanks, Scentbird, for sponsoring this video. Check out the links below to order today.
Scentbird. Smell like an eagle. Pay like a pigeon. I'm going to make this happen, Scentbird.
During this period, we learn about roles and expectations from the people we look up to, usually our parents, but some sort of parental or authority figure is teaching us and guiding us, and sometimes they do a good job and sometimes not as good a job. Jonathan Kent is hit or miss. I like him in this scene.
Come on, fight back! Get up, Kent. So is that it? Is that all you got?
Kansans, am I right?
Come on!
Kevin Costner, also perfectly cast, not always perfectly written.
Basically never.
But like on paper, a perfect Jonathan Kent.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like All-American Dad, nobody screams that more than
Kevin Costner. And frankly, I like that they cast the Kents a little bit older instead of having them be, in their 30s and childless.
There's a kid that bullied him.
Did it hurt you?
You know they can't.
It's not what I meant. I meant, are you all right?
I wanted to hit that kid. I wanted to hit him so bad.
I know you did. I mean, part of me even wanted you to, but then what? Make you feel any better? You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark, because whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's going to change the world.
That's powerful. It's really good.
Yeah, not as good as the scene where he's like, should I have just let them die? Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, that's some dog parenting.
What do we got today?
This is Internet Dad's Popcorn, Our Faces, and this is Candy Cane White Chocolate. It's got little red bits.
It's yummy, just like Henry Cavill, am I right?
You're very right.
Go to ctpopcorn.com and get yours for your next movie night.
Yum. Jonathan Kent has been around for 100 years, and he has always been one of the reasons that Clark becomes Superman.
Yeah.
And they do a decent job in this film of giving him a different reason for that.
Zack Snyder's going for a deconstruction of the Superman mythos, because the Superman mythos is he's basically a god, but he's raised by salt-of-the-earth people who teach him kindness and values.
Yes.
And so he goes out into the world basically capable of being Homelander, but because of his moral center, he's just
Superman.
He's a do-gooder who inspires good in other people. And what Zack Snyder's trying to do is he's positing Jor-El, as we're going to see in a minute, versus Jonathan Kent and Martha Kent, who are instilling values, but also like, it's very agency-based parenting, which is good. But they're really like, you can be whatever you want to be, you don't have to be a hero.
Yeah.
Which isn't really the story of Superman.
It's not the story of Superman, and frankly, I don't know that it's even particularly good parenting if you have a super-powered child.
Yeah, because if you don't raise them to be a hero, you get Brightburn.
Yeah. There's a bunch of great media about bad Superman.
Yeah.
I love those. I don't want it to be about actual Superman.
He's out of line. But he's right.
Okay, but let's take a step further into identity diffusion. So in this stage, youth are afraid to take action because they're not sure how to act.
Right.
Okay. I genuinely almost love the movie Man of Steel. I don't like this scene.
I'm glad. Our friendship would end.
Because Jonathan's been trying to teach Clark that people are going to persecute you if you're different. People are going to shun you if you're different. So if you're going to stand before the outside world, you need to be ready. You need to be ready to take the slings and the stones, because they can't hurt you physically, but they can hurt you emotionally. Like all of this
Classic boomer.
And like, again, there's some compelling ideas in there.
Sure. There's stuff that could be explored in a really interesting way. It isn't.
Okay. Tone it down. Some of our fans enjoy this, and I enjoy this. What I don't like is Jonathan goes back to save the dog.
And listen, sure, dog. I love a dog. I'll go save a dog.
You're the most dog-loving person I know, frankly.
I love dogs.
I would not risk making my wife a widow and leaving my children fatherless to save a dog.
Well, and, okay, Jonathan Kent says, I don't want you to reveal yourself as having superpowers because people could persecute you, whatever. There's a 3-second conversation that goes like this. Go get the dog, run as fast as you can, but make it look like you're a human running fast, not a superhero.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I know you can go get a dog, come back, and be fine.
It's like in The Incredibles when they're yelling at Dash to slow down. Well, don't lose by a lot.
Not by a lot. Come second.
Get
second.
close.
Yeah, go save the dog, but come in second. Oh, don't come save my life now. I know you could come save my life, but instead, look, it's just dumb. This scene is dumb and bad. Honestly, this is the scene that ruined the movie for me. Outside of this, there's a lot of interesting ideas. It's very well shot.
Yeah.
A lot of the acting is great. The writing is hit or miss.
Yeah.
This scene is so bad, it made me dislike the movie.
Yeah.
Just, it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't make emotional sense. It has nothing to do with the character that I've known my entire life.
Yeah. Disagree with Alan? Let us know in the comments below and sound off
Tell me
all
how,
of your fury.
Tell me how dumb I am.
Again, I like the idea of Clark being worried that his immigrant son is going to be rejected for being different. Like that's the real life parallel, right?
That is a really interesting concept to explore.
Or you're different, so people are going to reject you, and I want to protect you, but I don't.
This is not a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
There's better ways to explore a very interesting theme.
To Zack Snyder and company's credit, Jonathan's fears that are planted in Man of Steel, like they become realized in Batman v Superman, where you have a lot of people who are mistrusting of this godlike being who could do anything and could turn on us in a second, right?
Including Bruce Wayne.
And so, again, I don't think the story is as terrible as you do. I do agree that it's not as precisely executed as I would have liked it to have been. But we do see identity diffusion. He's not sure how to act here because he's being obedient to his father. His father says stop, but he's also not sure what's the right thing to do. Because my dad has taught me to be afraid. Yeah. And I'm not acting. And I'm not in love with that part. I do love this part.
You're as much a child of Earth now as you are of Krypton. You can embody the best of both worlds. The dream your mother and I dedicated our lives to preserve.
So this is classically what you get from Jonathan Kent?
Yeah.
The people of Earth are different from us, it's true. But ultimately, I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. Not if you guide them, Cal.
I love that we still get it.
Yeah.
Not if you give them hope. That's what this symbol means. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential of every person to be a force for good. That's what you can bring them.
That's a good scene.
That is a really good scene. And, I mean, come on, Hans Zimmer.
And Richard Donner in 1978 Superman, he gets it from both Jor-El and from Jonathan Kent and from Martha.
And I don't mind seeing a little bit of contrast. Like, honestly, that's probably better storytelling, is to have, like, different pieces coming from each of his different parent figures.
Yeah.
It's just so off-putting the way Jonathan Kent is dealt with in this movie.
This brings us into identity foreclosure, where a youth conforms to an identity without exploring what suits them best.
Oh, okay.
And what this looks like for most of us as teenagers, we feel like we know who we're going to be. And we've made a decision like, this is the crowd I'm going to run with, or this is my belief system. And usually what happens...
My parents were Democrats, so I'm going to be a Democrat.
Yeah. And we either are like the culmination of how we've been raised to be, and we're following that to the letter, and then we leave home and then we explore some other stuff. Or we are rebelling against how we were raised. But like we reach this place where we feel like, I've picked the lane I'm going to stay in, but we haven't really explored all of our options, or is this who I want to be? And this is something I really liked about this trilogy is it's a 3-film origin story. Yeah. And I feel like by the time we get to Justice League, we're just ready to see classic Superman, and then it's over.
Yeah, right? And then we don't get any more.
He's like, well, Jor-El's telling me I can be a hero, I can be a force for good. And so he's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to commit to it, right? Mm-hmm. And through Man of Steel, he's trying and he's struggling and he's stumbling. One thing that drove me nuts about Man of Steel, Metropolis is falling, thousands of people are dying, but Superman is trying to stop the genocide of Earth,
Yes.
right? But the thing that always irked me is that he doesn't seem concerned about people dying until the train station.
Until the train station.
We've got a scene earlier where Feora says to him, "For every one you save, we will kill 1,000,000 more."
Yeah.
So like the seed's kind of there.
Kind of, but it's not. That's told, not shown. And what do you do in movies?
You show.
People hate what they don't understand. But they see what you do, and they know who you are. You're not a killer. A threat. I never wanted this world to have you. Be their hero, Clark. Be their monument, be their angel. Be anything they need you to be. Or be none of it. You don't owe this world a thing. You never did.
Message doesn't match the music.
Message doesn't match the music, and message doesn't match historically the character.
Okay, I agree with that. Here's where I'm going to push and say this is a scene that didn't work for me on first viewing, and on second viewing it did. The second time I saw this, I had already seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I knew like,
Kind of where it's gonna go.
Where it's going, and where it's going is we are building for him to step into this by choice. And so what Martha is telling him is, you can be a hero or you can just live your life, and I'll love you either way. What I'm not crazy about is I think it's how they're both direct. There's no warmth.
No.
She seems kind of bitter and angry.
Yes.
And maybe that's the point. I don't like how the world's treating my son, right?
Sure.
And that's fine, and that's true of the story, but it's not Superman or Martha Kent.
No.
The Kents are people who see the good in the world. The Kents are people who, and to that point, that's what Clark learns from the ghost of his father on the mountaintop.
Yes.
We get into this place of identity moratorium, which is you're a little bit past youth and you're taking the time to explore different life paths and see how they fit. Clark was raised by Jonathan to be a decent person, but you have to choose if you're going to reveal who you are or not. You have to choose if you're going to be a hero or not.
And you have to be super duper cautious about it.
And you have to be really ready.
Definitely let me die instead of revealing yourself.
It's okay. And Jor-El's like, no, you're meant to be an inspiration for the human race.
Yes.
That is why we sent you here. You can embody the best of the both worlds and you can inspire people for good. And Clark's like, okay, here goes. I'm going to try my best to juggle this. And what do I get in return? I get
a bunch of mixed messages, which frankly actually works really well.
Yeah. Here, I will say this. You need to see the extended versions just because, like when the Capitol explodes, Superman is there helping people afterwards instead of taking off. And I know you got to make cuts.
And I liked that. Yeah, but that was the wrong cut to make.
That was the
wrong cut to make.
Save Martha doesn't work.
Save Martha!
He wouldn't say save Martha. You could do the exact same thing and have Henry Cavill break down and say, please, he's going to kill my mom.
Yeah, easy.
And Bruce, who's lost his mother, same connection. I'm actually dealing with a human being right here.
Do the exact same thing, just not the stupid version of it. And it works really well. That's basically my theme throughout this entire trilogy. Do the same thing, but not the stupid version.
Something, isn't it? We men in Kansas live on a pancake, so we come to the mountains. All downhill from here. Down to the floodplain. Farm at the bottom of the world. I remember one season the water came bad. I couldn't have been 12. Dad had out the shovels and we went at it all night. We worked till I think I fainted, but we managed to stop the water. We saved the farm. Your grandma baked me cake. Said I was a hero. Later that day we found out we blocked the water all right. We sent it upstream. The whole Lang farm washed away. While I ate my hero cake, their horses were drowning.
Oh, man.
I used to hear them wailing in my sleep.
This is honestly a great monologue. Really good.
Did the nightmares ever stop?
Yeah. When I met your mother, she gave me faith that there's good in this world.
And it's worth fighting for.
She was my world. I miss you, son.
I miss you too, Dad.
So I didn't like this at first because I'm like, what a downer message, Jonathan. I want to hear Jonathan Kent say, you can make a difference in this world, Clark. Yeah. Not, hey, when you try and do some good, you're gonna kill someone else's horses. Yeah, but it's very true to what Clark is experiencing, and it's true to Zack Snyder. He's trying to bring this, the sense of reality is, we try and make things good and we can't control all the consequences, and sometimes we make things better because you try and fight a good fight, and what ends up happening is you piss off the wrong people and then they hurt people, right? And for Clark, he says, when did the nightmares stop? Clark has nightmares. The implication, everyone dying in Metropolis, I wish they'd gone further into it. I would have loved to have seen PTSD Clark. Yes. Of the people he couldn't save. This was a great scene. I think if this scene had followed PTSD Clark, waking up in a cold sweat from, all these people died and it's my fault. Yeah. And that's the thing, you can make Superman super interesting. Oh, yeah.
That's what this symbol means.
And we get into identity formation, which is the last phase, and he says to Lois, you were my world, right? Same thing his dad said about Martha. Clark holds on to Lois as everything that is good. Yeah. And he sacrifices himself to save her and the rest of the world. He dies going really into the Jesus thing, like they lower him down. Oh boy. I have also been to a Catholic church. We get into Justice League, which I will go to bat for Justice League. The director's cut, the Zack Snyder's Justice League. Justice is gray. No, not Justice is gray. That was pretentious as hell. The issue with Zack Snyder's Justice League is every scene is at least 30 seconds too long. Okay. Every single effing scene. I'll be the counterpoint and the voice for the DCEU fans. I loved it. I really loved that film, and I thought it made the other two films better retrospectively when you see what it's building to. But I really love seeing once Superman is resurrected and he goes back to the farm and he's back in touch with Lois and he reunites with his mom, he kind of gets his bearings and he remembers the choice that he had made in identity formation before he died. Identity formation is where you really commit to a path, because you've explored different directions you might want to take your life. You've explored, okay, here are the values that were presented to me. Here are the values contrasting sometimes that I learned elsewhere. And now I'm deciding what's right for me, who I want to be, and what I want to do with myself. And that's why in Justice League, it's so powerful, because this is a choice that he has made to become the Superman we know and love for about 30 glorious minutes.
The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential of every person to be a force for good.
Clark.
That's what you can bring them.
You were sent here for a reason.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
And even if it takes you the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
They will stumble. They will fall.
You're gonna have to make a choice.
They will join you in the sun, Cal.
Choice of whether to stand proud in front of the human race or not.
You will help them accomplish wonders.
Man, that music theme. Yeah. So good.
All the hopes and dreams of Krypton live in you now.
And look, for all my criticisms of Zack Snyder, I don't know if there's anybody that does this better.
Your mother and I knew you would change the world.
Your heart was tested.
I know it's been hard, Clark.
But you gave hope to their world.
You need to show them who you are.
Love them, Cal. The way we loved you.
Fly, son. It's time.
Come on. You gotta give it to him. That's a great.
That is a great shot.
And he's very much Jesus.
Hi, I'm Space Jesus. But again, too long. The voiceover that's there is all really good. Pick 2/3 of it. Yeah. And it gets 100% stronger.
I do feel like Zack Snyder is including quotes from the previous two movies, so he could say, you guys say I didn't understand Superman. See, I was seeding it the whole time.
I know all about Superman. See, me. Look, I am giving Zack Snyder so much for a guy who is clearly so much more talented than I am. He is an incredible filmmaker who does absolutely spectacular visual work and really interesting character work. And
not crazy about storytelling.
The storytelling just falls down a lot for me. It works really great for some other people, and more power to you. People have different tastes.
Well, one thing I think we can both respect is, here's an artist who got to complete his vision his way. I have such a greater appreciation for his vision once he got to tell his whole story.
Sure.
I still think it's flawed, but I truly am glad that we got to see Henry Cavill be actual Superman.
Yeah.
In our lives, how do we determine who we want to be? It's actually a very similar path to what's laid out in this trilogy. We have what's presented to us. Okay. We have what we're taught. Mm-hmm. We're scared. We feel like we're inadequate.
Yeah.
We test some things out. Most of us in adolescence and early 20s commit to something because we think we're supposed to. And then life happens some more and you recalibrate. And you go into this incubation period where you're in your chrysalis, and then you emerge whoever you choose to be.
It's called a midlife crisis if you're me. It's a quarter-life crisis if you're smart.
Well, neither of us are smart.
Okay.
Superman is my favorite character. And the biggest reason I wanted to do this is because we haven't covered him on the show yet.
Let us know if you would like us to do Jonathan's dream, which is addressing the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yes.
This is his childhood.
Yeah. The reason that I love movies and the reason I dedicate my life to helping people, ground zero is Chris Reeve.
For both. Like the two main pillars of your life.
Who are you?
A friend.
So until next time.
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Save Martha! And watch movies.
Yeah, thanks for...
You could even watch these ones. It's fine. This episode was brought to you by patrons. People like...
Samuel Casey.
Shannon Bullock.
Carrie Ann Gilbert.
McReads a lot. Friend of yours?
McReads. I love it. And Tanisha Dokes Grizzard.
You can go to patreon.com/cinematherapy and help us make the show, and also...
release the Seawright cut.
There's director's cuts.
They're
longer.
Yeah, commercial free, and lots of bonus video material that
and they're in square because that's my original vision. F*** you.
Oh my God.